Last year in April, Richard Dawkins had his award of Humanist of the Year revoked by the American Humanist Association. He received this honor over 25 years ago for his accomplishments of raising awareness of scientific matters among the public. Why was it revoked? Because of something he tweeted that the board found so harmful that it considered him no longer worthy of this honor. In his tweet, he made the observation that people are outraged at somebody like Rachel Dolezal, a white person who identifies as black, while at the same time accepting that one's gender can be changed simply by self-identification. Here are the exact words of his tweet. The board of the AHA said that Dawkins' comment implies that the identities of transgender individuals are fraudulent, while also simultaneously attacking black identity as one that can be assumed when convenient. Before getting into the actual contents of his tweet, it's astounding that we live in a time where a single tweet can seemingly outweigh a life of accomplishments. Roman Polanski never got any Oscars revoked, even though he allegedly raped a 13-year-old. Evidently, you can go up and slap somebody in the face and receive an award directly after. Any honest reading of Dawkins' tweet doesn't lead you to believe that he thinks trans identities are fraudulent, as the AHA claims. You wouldn't come to this conclusion if you simply took his words at face value, and neither would you taking into account his generally liberal attitudes. He even clarified in a subsequent tweet what he meant. This clarification wasn't good enough in the eyes of the board, calling it insincere. It seems like they're in the business of mind reading. They claim to know more accurately what Dawkins actually means than he himself can express. What's more, they're not even logically consistent in their mind reading. On the one hand, it is insinuated that he thinks black identities can be assumed when convenient. On the other hand, he's said to claim trans identities are fraudulent. Quite obviously, he's doing neither of those things, but instead pointing out an interesting inconsistency. If one were to misconstrue his tweet as bigoted towards these groups, the only coherent interpretation is a criticism either of trans people or of black people, but never both simultaneously. For instance, if his aim was to attack trans identities, then the accusation that he thinks black identity can be assumed when convenient makes absolutely no sense. He would have to argue that both gender and race are fixed categories that one cannot change. And he doesn't argue that. If, on the other hand, his aim was to attack black identity as something that can be assumed when convenient, the accusation that he wants to delegitimize trans people makes no sense. He would have to argue that gender and race are both categories that one can become a part of by self-identification. Somebody who manages to hold such contradictory beliefs is not thinking clearly and isn't making sense. But how can somebody making no sense be a danger to public discourse, like the AHA claims? Maybe the problem is rather that Dawkins points to an inconsistency that every clear-thinking person can recognize themselves. Could it be that the AHA is actually in the grips of an ideology that doesn't allow clear thinking and punishes dissidents? It may be so.